Big congratulations to Daniil Medvedev for winning the 2021 U.S. Open and getting in the way of Djokovic, getting his 21st Grand Slam title. In this video, I wanted to break down a little bit of that match and give 5 very practical ways that you can kind of take lessons from what Daniil did and also the mindset of Djokovic towards the end here. So let's jump right into it and take a look at some examples. And this is the first practical thing you can do. And this is going to seem kind of silly at first, but just bear with me.
Does it?
So sure, yeah, just hit aces, right? But no, just pay close attention. Lesson number 1 is do whatever you can to dictate play with your serve right off the bat. The serve is your one opportunity to take control of points, whatever way you want to take control of them. And that can be through placement. It doesn't have to be with huge booming power like we just saw from Medvedev. It can be placing the ball on your opponent's weaker side. It can be using slice. It can be through using kick on the ad side. It can be by pulling your opponent out wide on the deuce side as a right-handed player. It can be by creating a body serve and jamming them up and causing them to cough up a short ball. It can be any number, dozens and dozens of different ways that you can take control with your serve. Develop something. Oh, by the way, it can be refining your serve technique so that you deliver more pace, more spin, or refining your accuracy and your precision. I just listed 10 or 12 different things. Any one of those things can give you the upper hand in a match and make you very difficult to beat. A lot has been said about how poorly Djokovic played in this match, but I just want to point out that a lot of what Daniil did led to that poor play. So let's go to example number 2 here.
1 or 2 bounces and
here Daniil hits a great serve and follows it up with a weapon, with more offense. And that's lesson number 2. Find a way to create 1-2 combos, serve +1 or return +1 combos where you gain the advantage in the points and then you maintain that advantage and you don't let go. You don't just hit an okay shot on shot number 2, but you squeeze right off the bat, and then you squeeze more, and you squeeze more. So what could that be for us mere mortals? It could be placement. It could be refining rough edges in our technique on our favorite shot. Like for me, my biggest weapon on the baseline is my topspin forehand. So learning how to hit with more shape and give myself more safety so I can be even more aggressive and even more authoritative and more confident with that weapon would be fantastic. That would help me out a lot, especially when paired with point number 1, placing my serve well, pulling my opponent off wide, and then following it up with a forehand. These are all ways that we can keep our opponents uncomfortable. Okay, let's go ahead and go to example number 3. Here's something else Daniil did really well in that match. We're starting off with kind of a typical Medvedev-Djokovic exchange, but then this is huge. A lot is made. Well, actually, there's another example.
Djokovic, I've got to lean that way.
Here's another, what I'm calling a scramble point here, where Djokovic is expecting some kind of offensive attack. Instead has to scramble and makes an error. If you can force your opponent to scramble, it might be right to left, it might be up and back. I would strongly encourage you to try up and back because players like Novak in particular and Medvedev that are fantastic defenders, incredibly talented counterpunchers, are extremely good at running side to side and just chasing down everything you hit. A lot of times going up and back against that type of opponent is really, really effective. And Daniil did a fantastic job of throwing in and mixing in differences in depth and not just running Novak side to side, right and left. That's something you can absolutely throw in. And it doesn't have to be a perfect drop shot. In fact, it doesn't even have to be a drop shot. Just anything low and short that your opponent has to take a couple steps inside the baseline against a really solid, defensive, consistent type player can really throw them off balance and put them out of their comfort zone. So amazing play there. And Medvedev used it really effectively against Novak in this match. Okay, one more really practical takeaway here that you can copy in your next match. This is almost kind of more a mindset than anything else. Amazing exchange. Novak on the attack. And just scramble here. On the other end, just scramble. If you can just have the mindset of, I will chase down every ball. I will not let the ball bounce twice. I will hustle harder than anybody. I will run through a brick wall. If you have that mindset, in addition to the other tactical things, starting off by pressuring with your serve, following up with more offense, force your opponent to scramble around the courts, throw in different depths, so on and so forth. And then if on top of that, when they force you to scramble, you're just like the Energizer Bunny and just hustle after every single ball, never give up. It's so tough for an opponent to play well when you do all four of those things. And I just want you to kind of think about this analysis and this breakdown from that perspective. Not so much, what can I do to hit incredible highlight shots, but what can I do to force my opponent to be just like 5% uncomfortable or 10% uncomfortable? And all four of the things that we just talked about will make your opponents uncomfortable. Just one of them. If you can layer 2 or 3 or all 4 of them, then you'll be extremely difficult to beat. Okay, the fifth thing here, the fifth takeaway is actually mindset. I was really impressed by Novak's handling of, devastating loss, right, for Novak. Like, this would have been massive for his legacy, massive for his stats, and kind of really pinning himself as at least for the moment, the GOAT. And he kind of has a reputation for, I don't know how I want to say this, not necessarily always giving credit to opponents sometimes, and kind of being more angry at himself than gracious to his opponents. Let me know if you disagree with that in the comments down below. Here's a really quick soundbite from the post-match interview with Novak that we can all learn from this. So, and keep in mind all the ways that Medvedev was forcing Novak to feel uncomfortable. Now listen to Novak's response to that here.
But he did so well. He was amazing. Just congratulate him. Full credit to, from his mentality, his approach, his game, everything. He absolutely was a better player and he deserved to win. No doubt about it. Of course, I'm disappointed with the overall game that I performed today, and I know I could have and should have done better. But it's sport, you win some, you lose some, and it's a tough loss. It's a very tough loss, but at the same time, I'm happy for him because he's a nice guy and he deserves it. He really does.
So really gracious comments from Novak, and just notice how he's giving credit to his opponent for his mentality, his quality of play, the tactics that he brought to the table. Novak said more than this. I just felt like this was the best kind of representative soundbite. And he made more comments like this in the post-match interview on the court as well. And just looking at how Novak embraced Daniil, and it looked like it was a very genuine congratulations to Medvedev. I thought it was a fantastic example, and something that, don't just view this as like, oh, the great players are so amazing and yeah, they're mentally tough. You can use this mentality, and it's a critical step towards mental toughness. If you can give credit to your opponent and say they played well, they did X, Y, and Z, you're not so concerned about blaming yourself and being down on yourself and being angry and upset about all the shots that you missed and the things that you're not doing well. When you can flip that and be honest with yourself and gracious enough to say, they're doing A, B, C, and D really well. Not only does that help you mentally not be so negative and down on yourself, but it can also help you find solutions to those problems if you are honest with yourself in the moment. Does that make sense? If all of this was helpful, do me a favor and click the like button. I'm just looking for really practical ways that all of us can learn from these incredible elite players. So if this was helpful, click the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll be back again soon with more instruction. So be sure to subscribe. And if you'd like my personal guidance on your own game, go to EssentialTennisAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.